Hello dear students, so we'll continue our discussion on human reproduction chapter. So today we'll discuss with the new topic, that is pregnancy and embryonic development. So in the previous video we have discussed with the topic called as fertilization and implantation. Hope you understood those videos. So before dealing with today's topic, let's discuss with the doubts of your friends regarding with the last video. The doubt was how twins are formed during fertilization. This is very interesting. So we all know the normal process of fertilization, right? So one egg releases per month and that egg will be fertilized by a single sperm and zygote formation takes place and new individual will be formed. In case of twins, what happens is there are actually three different types of twins: identical twins, non-identical twins, and third one is Siamese. Okay, in identical twins what happens is, normally what happens initially, so that only happens, single egg will be released, okay, and it is fertilized by single sperm, okay, and then there will be formation of zygote, and this zygote undergoes mitosis, correct? Mitotic division agutte and there will be cleavage. Okay, during cleavage what happens here is they split. Okay, the zygote what initially formed, they split into two, and these two which develops into new individual. Okay, here one thing is clear, they will be arise from single egg and single sperm. Okay, so such a case is called as monozygotic twins. They are also called as monozygotic twins. Why? Because they are arise from the single monozygote, single zygote. Okay, so here formed twins are, they are of same sex. Why? Because they share common chromosomes, right? Either two will be female or two will be males. Okay, there is no chances of having one male child and one female child. Okay, and they are similar. If you find any twins in some twins are very similar, they are, they look alike, but some twins are not similar, we can differentiate them, right? So such twins are called as non-identical twins. Okay, they are not similar. How it is formed? So usually one egg will be released from the ovary, but sometimes due to some cases, instead of one, two eggs will be releases. Cause for this, it may be taking of oral pills. Okay, oral pills, it is taken for the female for conception. Okay, or it can be used as birth control. Okay, so due to that, instead of one egg, okay, two eggs will be released. Okay, so these two eggs are fertilized by two sperms, and then two zygote will be formed, right? They undergo cleavage, and new individual will be formed. Here the combined chromosomes are different, so formed individual, they may be of same sex or they may be of different sex. Either ಎರಡು ಮೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎರಡು ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದು ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಒಂದು ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ದ ಎರಡು ಮೇಲ್ ಎರಡು ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ದೇ completely look dissimilar. Okay, so third one is Siamese twins. So what Siamese twins is, this is actually normal identical twins here, but in the middle of the identical twins, the zygote separation during cleavage, they partially occurs. That is the difference between these two. Okay, so from here to here normal identical twins alle hegaagutte hage agutte, but during splitting what happens is illi complete agi separation ಆಯಿತು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Here complete separation ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, they will be partial separation or partial splitting. So due to this, some part of the body of this twins that will be attached, either head region irbodu or hip region irbodu, attach ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, and the produced progenies will be both males or both females. So this is the case in Siamese. You might ask a question that can be treated, so can Siamese are separated? In some cases, yes, it can be separated, but in some cases, due to some of the depending on the attachment of those vital organs like heart or genital organs, depending on that, one individual, they may die. So survival case, it is very less. Clear? So second doubt was, what is the reason for not having baby? Okay, so there are many reasons for not having baby. So such couples are called as infertile couple. One reason, this is ovary, right? If this is ovary, so here oogonia already it will be formed in embryo. So monthly ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ovum produce ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸೊ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಓವಮ್ ಇರ್ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ಫರ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆರ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಷನ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಆಗದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ಫರ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬೇಬಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಮೊಟಿಲಿಟಿ ಲೆಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ರೋಸೋಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್, ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಸ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಫರ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪೆನೆಟ್ರೇಷನ್ at the end nucleus of the sperm, it should enter into the ovum, right? So penetration ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ರೋಸೋಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ಫರ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನೌ ಅಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ such couples. They can have a baby, but depending on their problem. So first doctor has to study the problem of those parents. Okay, so they should have a counseling of those parents, and then there is a technique called as in vitro fertilization. You might have heard about test tube baby. Okay, there are technique called as intracytoplasmic sperm injection, okay, or zygote intrafallopian transfer. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಫರ್ಟೈಲ್ couple, they can have baby by those techniques, and these are the reasons for not having baby. Clear? So today we'll speak about pregnancy. It is very interesting topic. So in the last segment, during implantation, what happened was the blastocyst which was embedded in the uterine wall, right? So if this is the endometrium or uterine wall, so this blastocyst, they get embedded in the endometrium, right? So that what we have discussed in the last class. Now after that, what happens? Now this blastocyst, it has got two regions, right? Trophoblast, this is trophoblast, and this is inner cell mass. So this trophoblast, it should integrate with the uterine wall, and this inner cell mass which will develop into a embryo. Okay, so now for the integration between blastocyst and uterine wall, there is finger-like projections which arise from the trophoblast. So ಈ trophoblast layer in the finger-like projections arise ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, and this finger-like projection is called as chorionic villi. Okay, this is important. What is chorionic villi? So for the integration between blastocyst and endometrium, there will be a rise of finger-like projections from the trophoblast, which is called as chorionic villi. And this chorionic villi, can you see this picture? Okay, this chorionic villi, which is surrounded by uterine tissue, so there will be tissue present here which is called as uterine tissue, and it is also surrounded by maternal blood. Here will be maternal blood. Okay, clear? Now you can say that chorionic villi which connects trophoblast to the endometrium. Agree all of you? Okay, so this overall picture, like aggregation between uterine tissue and chorionic villi, which forms the functional and structural unit of a developing embryo, which is called as placenta. This is important. I repeat, chorionic villi means this finger-like projections and uterine tissue which forms the structural and functional unit between developing embryo and maternal body. So maternal means mother body, maternal body, which is called as placenta. So let me explain this picture. So this is the picture of uterus of a mother. Here is an embryo. So here is a growing embryo. Okay, and these blue color one finger like projections are called as chorionic villi, or it is called as placental villi. Since this structure forms a placenta, it is called as placental villi too. Okay, so this is uterine cavity. Can you see this blue color one? So this is uterine cavity, and there is a structure which is called as umbilical cord. Okay, so after delivery, this umbilical cord it will cut. Okay, so it is detached by the fetal body. Now the umbilical cord means which indirectly connects the embryo to the placenta. This whole structure is called placenta, right? So the umbilical cord ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು embryo ಮತ್ತೆ placentaವನ್ನ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು? placenta. Clear? So this is about placenta. I repeat. So there is a finger-like projections which is present on trophoblast called as chorionic villi, and this chorionic villi which is surrounded by uterine tissue and maternal body or maternal blood. So this chorionic villi and uterine tissue, they form a structural and functional unit between developing embryo and the maternal body, which is called as placenta. Can you see this picture? Yolk sac, it is not given in your NCERT, but initially during embryonic development, yolk sac which helps in homeopoiesis means for the formation of blood. Okay, blood formation agಲಿಕ್ಕೆ help ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So this is the plug of mucus in cervix. Okay, this is the birth canal. Clear? Now the function of placenta is very important. Okay, placenta which plays major role in pregnancy. Why? Because just imagine for 9 months the embryo has to develop inside the womb or inside the uterus, right? So it should get lots of nutrition, and the excretory products from the embryo, it should release out from the body of the embryo, right? So this exchange of gases, exchange of food should take place here. For that, placenta is very important. Got it? So first function of a placenta is it supplies oxygen and nutrients from where to where? From mother or maternal to the embryo, because embryo should require oxygen, food, etc. So supply of oxygen and nutrients from the mother to the embryo. Next, removal of carbon dioxide and excretory waste from where to where? From embryo to the maternal body. Why? Because the carbon dioxide waste product will be produced inside the embryo, right? It has to removed out. So for that also placenta is important. So it also connected to the umbilical cord. As I mentioned, placenta is connected to the umbilical cord, and this umbilical cord is connected to the embryo. Next important function of placenta is it also acts as endocrine tissue. What do you mean by endocrine? You might remember with the endocrine glands, right? So this placenta which also synthesizes few of the hormones. The hormones of placenta is very important. It may ask for 2 marks. They are HCG, or it is also called as human chorionic gonadotropin, HPL, full form as human placental lactogen, human H, placental P, lactogen L, HPL, and estrogen, progestogens, relaxin, cortisol, prolactin, and thyroxine. So repeat with the names: human chorionic gonadotrophin, human placental lactogen, estrogen, progestogens, relaxin, cortisol, prolactin, and thyroxine. So these are the hormones that are secreted by placenta. So out of this, HCG, HPL, and relaxin. So relaxin is a hormone. It is synthesized by the ovary. Remember, so ovary in the secret agate relaxin, and this relaxin which produces on later stages of pregnancy. Why later stages? After delivery, the uterine muscle which has contracted, vigorous contraction of uterine muscle takes place. So after delivery, it has to relax, the muscle has to relax. For that, this relaxing hormone is important, and it is secreted by the ovary. So HCG, HPL, and relaxin, these three hormones which produces only during pregnancy. This is important. Other three will be produced during day-to-day life, but the concentration will be different. But HCG, HPL, and relaxin, which produces only during pregnancy. Clear? So this is about placenta chorionic villi. Now, you may ask how the pregnancy detection test is done. Okay, so nowadays within 5 minutes the pregnancy detection test can be done. For that, there will be a strip like this. This is called as pregnancy detection kit or Preganives. Nowadays in advertisement and all, you may find this okay, pregnancy detection kit. In this kit, there will be a hole at one corner like this. A furrow will be in one corner, and here simply there is a substrate will be present. Now, in this hole or furrow, the urine has to be added, and this urine, it should be concentrated urine. Why? Because if you take the concentrated urine, the pregnancy result will be appropriate, or else you may get wrong results. Now when you add the urine here, the urine will be absorbed by this membrane, and which travels in this direction. So while traveling, if you find a single line over here, okay, that means that single line, that means that negative for pregnancy. If there are two lines over here, okay, this is considered as control and test. Okay, so control line, so yeah, pregnant positive adru negative adru a line single line barutte. Test line only which arises if a female individual is positive for pregnancy. If there is double line, that means that she is positive for pregnancy. So this is how the pregnancy test is done. Clear with this? So there inner cell mass which divides to form different germ layers. You have studied in first PU, right? Ectoderm, endoderm, and the middle one is mesoderm. So ಈ mesoderm, ectoderm, endoderm form ಆಗೋದು ಯಾವುದು? Inner cell mass. Initially they divides to form germ layers, these three, and these three germ layers, some of them which give rise to digestive system, some will give rise to respiratory system, some will give rise to excretory system, etc. Okay, and in the inner cell mass there will be specialized cells are present, which is called as stem cells. Okay, so this is important. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಂದರೆ this stem cells which has potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. Okay, ಇದೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆದರೆ which can give rise to liver, heart, kidney, etc. Okay, so nowadays so many researches have been taken place for this stem cells. So now let's discuss with the embryonic development. So once the pregnancy period is start, like the embryo has to grow in the uterus for 9 months, right? So this embryonic development, it is divided into 3 categories, that is first trimester, second trimester and third trimester. Okay, so first trimester includes first 3 months, second trimester includes till 6 months, and third trimester includes last 9 months. Okay, so now we'll discuss with the different features which taking place for the fetus in different months. So first month, heart is formed. So in the first month of the pregnancy, which organ is formed first? Heart is formed first. This is important. Okay, this is the first sign of there is a embryo anta helodake first sign. So how we can detect this? We can detect by listening to the heartbeat of the embryo using stethoscope. Clear? So by the second month of pregnancy, limbs and digits are formed. What do you mean by limbs? Limbs ಅಂದರೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಲೆಗ್ಸ್, ಲೆಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಡಿಜಿಟ್ಸ್ ಬೆರಳು, ಸೊ ಡಿಜಿಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರುವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೈನ್ heart is formed. Second month of the pregnancy, there will be formation of limbs and digits. Then third month of the pregnancy or on 12th week, by first trimester, major organs are formed like liver, kidney, etc. So ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಮೇಜರ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ limbs will develop further and external genitalia is also formed. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈಮೆಸ್ಟರ್ ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಜೆನೆಟೇಲಿಯಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಜೆನೆಟೇಲಿಯಾ, ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಜೆನೆಟೇಲಿಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಮಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ a special movement there, that is the first movement of the fetus takes place. As we know, ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಚುರೇಷನ್ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫೀಟಸ್ ಇದು ಹೆಡ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಸ್ಲೈಟ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಮಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಹೇರ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಹೆಡ್. Okay, headally hair formation takes place, and in the 24th week or second trimester, body will be covered with the fine hairs. So headally already hair formation takes place, but body hairs will be formed on second trimester, that is by the 6th month. Then eyelid separation takes place. Initially it will be joint here in the eyelid, so separation of eyelid takes place, and also the formation of eyelashes. Okay, eyelashes kuda form agutte, and by the 9 months fully matured baby will be formed. So this is important. I repeat, on first month of pregnancy heart is formed, second month of the pregnancy limbs and digits are formed, by the third month of pregnancy or first trimester major organs will be formed, limbs will be developed, and also there is formation of external genitalia. By the 5th month the first movement of fetus takes place, and there is formation of hairs on the head. Second trimester ಅಲ್ಲಿ body is covered with the fine hairs, eyelid separation takes place, and eyelashes formation also takes place. By the 9 months fully matured fetus will be formed. What is the next step? Once the fully matured fetus is formed, it should taken out from the mother body. Okay, this process is called as parturition. In the next segment we'll discuss with the parturition and lactation, that is our last topic of human reproduction chapter. So let's discuss with our last topic of this chapter, that is parturition and lactation. So in the previous segment we have discussed with the pregnancy, right? So pregnancy takes place around 9 months in human females. Okay, so after that, when the baby is fully matured by 9 months, then the parturition process takes place. Okay, so this parturition process, which is induced by a special mechanism which is called as neuroendocrine mechanism. Okay, so here neuro refers to brain and endocrine refers to hormone. So there is a link between brain and hormones. Okay, so when fully matured fetus, if you consider this as uterus, okay, so this is the womb, so this is the fetus. So now it is fully matured. Okay, so when fully matured fetus, which gives signals to the uterine walls, here is the uterine wall. Okay, so for the uterine wall or endometrium to contract. Okay, so it has to contract now. Why? Because the baby has to remove from the body. So when uterine wall which contracts, then only there will be release of baby takes place. Okay, so initially it leads to mild contraction. Okay, not that stronger contraction. Initially it leads to very mild contraction, and this mild contraction of uterine wall which gives positive sign to the brain or to the pituitary to release a hormone which is very important hormone called as oxytocin. Okay, so this oxytocin which makes the uterine wall to contract further, the contraction will become more stronger. So if the contraction is more, again what happens, it makes the pituitary gland to release more oxytocin, more contraction. If the more contraction, release of more oxytocin hormone. So this is this repeats till the baby will come out or till delivery of baby takes place. I repeat, when fully matured or fully developed baby or fetus which gives signal to the uterine wall, that leads to contraction of uterine wall. So this contraction initially leads to mild contraction which makes the pituitary gland to secrete a hormone called as oxytocin. So release of oxytocin makes the uterine wall to contract more stronger, and if the stronger contraction then which makes the pituitary to release more oxytocin, and more contraction, more oxytocin, then the contraction will be vigorous. At one point the contraction will be stronger and stronger. That time the baby will come out, and this process is called as fetal ejection reflex. Clear? Here fetal ejection means it is coming out, reflex means method. Clear? The next process is lactation. Once the delivery of the baby is done, then the baby has to give certain nutrition or milk to the baby. It is very mandatory. So during a pregnancy, what happens is the mammary glands, they get differentiated to produce to form the milk inside the mammary gland at the end of the pregnancy. Now the first milk, which is called as colostrum, okay, immediately after delivery, the first milk, which is somewhat yellowish in fluid, called as colostrum. This colostrum, it is more recommended by the doctor to give to the baby. So this colostrum, which consists of several antibodies, which is very essential for the baby to fight against antigens, okay, fight against foreign bodies, which helps in resistance for a newborn baby. Clear? The main antibody present in colostrum is IgA. There are different antibodies or immunoglobulins. The antibody present in colostrum is called as IgA. Okay, so this is all about parturition and lactation. I repeat, So parturition, it is induced by neuroendocrine mechanism. When fully matured fetus will give signal to the uterine wall, then it leads to mild contraction initially. That gives positive sign for pituitary to release oxytocin. Oxytocin helps in the more contraction. If there is more contraction in the uterus, then it leads to release more oxytocin. Okay, this process is called as fetal ejection reflex. Under lactation, so mammary gland in females which is differentiate to form milk inside it during pregnancy. Okay, the first milk is called as colostrum, which has got several antibodies, which is very essential for the newborn baby, which helps in resistance or fight against foreign bodies. The main antibody present in the colostrum is IgK. So here we have completed our chapter called as human reproduction. So if you have got any doubts regarding with this chapter, you can contact my number. Thank you.